Hello and welcome to part 2 of our ride in Yorkshire on Spitfire. And we've left that lovely moorland road and we're now heading on the A683, which runs from Kirkby Stephen down to Sedbergh. And this was a bit of a surprise because we're now on unfenced country, having passed over that cattle grid and keeping a wary eye for strolling cattle. Now I come from the south of England and I'm familiar with riding through the New Forest, where of course you have to watch it for forest ponies, and I know how they can just suddenly appear around the next bend. So, and also watching Ainsworth Rider's recent video where he went to the All Can Cafe with some friends from the South Lancs Royal Enfield Owners Club, and they had a bull leap over a fence at them, fortunately without any damage to either bull or the riders. So yes, I'm never sure what's going to be around the next bend. And so here we are. Now ahead of you can see the Howgills, and they look quite spectacular in this lighting. And when you get a cloudscape like this with the sunlight occasionally peeping through, you get some lovely rendering on hills and the landscape. Now you do notice one or two sort of lanes running off either side of this road, and apart from the one we've just passed on the right hand side, that leads onto a trunk road which leads to T-Bay services on the M6 and Kirkby Stephen the other way. But the other little lanes seem to run off into tracks, so anyone with a Himalayan or trail bike I'm sure would enjoy heading off up over those. However, we're not going to be doing that. We'll carry on down this road and end up just as we approach Sedbergh. Lovely stone walls appearing, and we see some stone barns again. I do like the stone barns. And that over there, that's the River Rothay that we've. That was a really bumpy bit of cattle grid there. Yeah, that River Rothay, which runs down to Sedbergh, it follows us on the right hand side, though we don't get too much of a glimpse of it because it's some way off. No railway on this side, of course. That's well over. Went beneath the bit that we rode over through a tunnel. Well, I have to say that was a marvellous ride, and to judge by the lovely comments I've had on that, most of you enjoyed that too. In fact, most all of you did. Certainly have commented. So thank you for that, and thank you too for the new people that have subscribed to me. I hope you continue to do so, and I'll try and get up and show you some more interesting parts of the countryside that I now live in up here. There's another of those little lanes that runs off. Yes, we've got some ominous dark clouds up there, but no rain. It held off. It's a very quiet road because it's the day of the coronation. And many of us decided that rather than watch that, we'd be out enjoying a bit of riding. Stone barn over there. Just like there's the Friends of the Settle to Carlisle Railway, I imagine there's probably Friends of the Stone Barn, the Yorkshire Stone Barns. Yes, that's what I mean on the right hand side there, that hill, you get lovely lighting over that. The sun's just broken through. during summertime when the sun is overhead, lighting becomes rather flat, and you don't get the nice shadows which we have today on this ride. It's quite still early in the year. So yes, while this isn't quite such an interesting road as the B road up from the Moorcock Inn in many ways, it's still got its own charms, and I think it's worth putting on as part 2. I hope you think so too. The road's not quite in such good condition as the other B road because it gets much more heavily used. This is the major road up from Sedbergh, so it gets a lot more use. Although not today, obviously. We've not hardly seen anybody. And Spitfire's running beautifully. By the time we get back, we'll have done almost 1,000 miles on her. Lovely windows on that house over there. Yes, 1,000 miles, and she's running beautifully. Loosened up a lot since those early days back in the when I got her in, what was that, 19th of December 2022. And, went out riding no matter what the weather, well, apart from the ice. I didn't expect to be doing that, but there we are. Yes, the gearboxes on these are just so smooth. They're nice close ratios, and now it's run in. The gear change is very slick. One or two, well, in fact, one or two people, yes, have mentioned about the rear suspension on these Royal Enfield Hunters. Here's an example running on that bit of poor road. The rear suspension, they say, is rather firm. Well, yes, it is a bit firm, but I'm quite used to firm suspension, and it doesn't really bother me. Now, it might be because of perhaps it's adjusted for my weight, which is around about the 11 stone mark in old money, and it seems to suit me perfectly well. But obviously, you can actually get after suspension units to fit these. It's a little bit more expensive. So I shan't be doing that, I don't think, in the immediate future. I do need to get out onto Hurricane actually, because it's that's now done 240 miles. Another 60 miles before the little spanner for its service starts to show, and get that service, but that's running a bit more smoothly now since it's done those miles. They are rather stiff, these engines, before you get them running. They just get better and better. In terms of fuel consumption, I've noticed that it's, I haven't done an accurate check, but it's about 110 miles to the gallon I get for the sort of riding I do. Obviously, if you go a lot more faster at sort of 50 and 60 miles an hour, it's going to drop down probably to about 90 miles to the gallon, but it's very economical. So yeah, it's becoming a little bit more wooded now, isn't it? Losing the stone walls and stone barns as we get closer to Sedbergh. very tight bend coming up here. Recommended 20 miles an hour. Yeah, slowed in a bit then. Yes, those hills over there are really lovely now. I'd like at this stage to just say thank you to the All Year Motorcyclist, who often mentions me in his little vlogs. Anyway, thank you very much for watching all this, and we'll see you again soon, I hope.